Today we're doing things a little differently. Normally we'd be doing our monochrome streams um, twice a week for the game Monochrome Wasteland, building characters and whatnot. But this week we're gonna jump into Lucid as we've discussed previously. So I'm gonna open that up and let that load. It might take a second. So the fourth game jam just ended several weeks ago. The glitch in the metaverse was the theme, and so we put together the game Lucid, and we tried to, we wanted to do something a little different and kind of challenge ourselves with the camera angles and make that really contribute to the story, especially the theme of a glitch thing. So gonna let that load for just a second. All right, so this is a 1x1 LAN, and the goal was to try to maximize as much as possible on here. So typically, if I go into global perimeters real quick and go to camera, so typically by default out of the box, the sandbox is done in third person, but as you can see, there are several other options for the camera. So first person, as we know, top down, which makes sense, and then angled is what it says, and then you can change these parameters to choose what kind of angle the camera is going to do. So and then additionally, the camera is locked. So a traditional side scroller, if I hit tab real quick to jump into the game, traditionally, let me just get past this. If you think of old school side scroller, it's literally from generally left to right, and that's it, right? You go up and down, but your camera is locked, and that's that. So for Lucid, we wanted to play on this glitch and this parallel universe thing, so we left it unlocked so that we could switch perspectives when needed, to kind of leave as much diversity in the game as possible. So it takes a little bit of just kind of setting up the expectations for the players. So doing a tutorial to, like this one here, keep your character on what side of the screen, move from left to right, that sort of thing. And obviously your controls are different, so D is to right, A is to left, that sort of thing. So that was the first thing, is getting the camera where we wanted. So I don't believe we're exactly like 90 degrees from her right shoulder. We're up ever so slightly. But as you can see, you can kind of see down the side here on the right. I think one of the questions for in the last stream for the sandbox was about, I forget the word, but you could easily create like this dirt path right here is 2 block width. You could have your side scroller be a 2 block width, and you just go and play. However, if the wall was where this tree is, that's a very flat land, scenery. You don't have a lot of room to add things to it. And so what we wanted to do was have, a foreground element. So like this tree is in front, closest to us. And then we have background elements, and even more so here where we don't have a wall, where it's very open. So basically the way I set that up is at all times when it's this, I don't want to give too many spoilers. Hey Clinkers, what's up? Thanks for joining, sir. I'm just going over kind of the logistical setup of the side scroller, so it's really dynamic. with like foreground elements, background elements, that sort of thing. So the walkways are always, for the most part, 2 rows of blocks like this. And then on the right here, I left, actually, let me fly over there real quick. Load. Okay, it's thinking about it. So if I fly over there real quick, so here you can see I've got 2 rows, which is the walkable path. I've got 2 rows here, which is basically decoration, decor going down. And then generally speaking, this is kind of, it's open, but I have 2 rows behind the path, and then the row in between, like these trees, is the wall, right? So that left me 2 rows for foreground decoration, 2 in the middle where your character will walk, and then I had 2 rows for background decoration, and then there would be a wall here. And you can see that really well if I come all the way down here to, hello, the first room here, right? So here you can see these 2 rows. It's hard to tell when it's all the same, but this is a row, this is a row. These 2 here, which you cannot get to, are for decoration. And then this one, I brought it in a little bit. Normally there'd be 2 rows, but I have the wall in closer. But there's decorations and stuff back here. And then to do the mirror effect, this black line here is basically that middle wall that separates the entire span. And here you can see it. This middle wall is this black line. So this is these 2 are decoration, walkable path, background, then the wall, right? And then that's repeated on both sides. So we had to create a mirror image. Whatever we created here, which is this whole side, we created, for the most part, a flipped image of the same thing. So it was a lot of work to make sure that was exact. So once I had that set up, the next trick was figuring out the camera, right? Because if you're in the game, get past all this, there's a point in which, and I can probably do it here, so like this, right? There's a point where if it's locked and I'm twisted, there's things in the way and I can't see. And if I get it to, like right here, I'm too close to the wall. That's right here. I'm pointing to the screen, you can't see me. The blue right there, it's too close, so it's gonna block the camera. So I had to count, so this big divide right here is an equal gap. I don't remember how many blocks, but I had to figure out the blocks to where I could walk to the edge and it not black out the camera, because that would be really bad for the gameplay. And you know what? Oh yeah, I can walk back here. That's cool. And so what I did is I created the 3 pillars. After doing the math, that's about all it left space for. So if I zoom out, I left room on this right side for side A, is that what we called it? This is side B. And then I left a gap here, which I guess we can count the blocks now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 13 blocks is where I put the wall between each of them, which means when my avatar is right here, because this invisible wall here, I can't go further, right here is the limit where this wall would not block the camera. I hope that makes sense. What's up, Touche? Hello, hello. Thanks for joining, sir. Did you get your package yet? I didn't check tracking today. Should be there soonish. Yeah. So we were talking about the camera setup and the block ratio for the side scrolling, kind of how we set that up. But basically, I figured out there's 13 block gap right here between these walls. which would allow the avatar to stand here and us be sideways and the wall not do that. So if the avatar were to stand like on the other side of this wall and they were right here, then we would not be able to see them like that. So I had to count that out and then space everything out like that. So you've got your gaps here. The sides don't really matter because there's nothing there. So that's kind of how we did that. And the big component to make it a more controlled side scroll are these invisible walls here. Mail hasn't come today. Okay, well, keep me posted. Let me know when you get it. These are a side scroll wall. So these are the asset I created. I believe it's 256 by 256. So it's the max size of a single asset, a single VXM. So it's square, and as you can see, they run the length and the width all the way down on the foreground and the background, and that's basically what controls the avatar from going out of bounds, and kind of it keeps them in that lane. There you can see all the stuff that they're going to hit, all the speakers and stuff that keep them there. And then same thing with our garage level here, the hospital level. If I zoom into like a hallway, you can see it keeps them in line there. The stairs, while I'm here, I'll go ahead and show you. Since we only had a 2-lane track all the way through, the stairs we push halfway, so we only have half of the stairs accessible, and then the other lane is you can walk by, so you have to come around, push yourself back, and go up. So it's a little learning process, so up, around, and this way. So learning process with the controls, but you know, people that like side scrolls, it's probably not too difficult. So that's basically how we set up the camera, which I'll jump back into that real quick. It's an angled camera with not being locked, no pitch, and then I was at 100. Okay, so I was directly 180, and then the distance is 15. So I guess that's the other thing. I did play around with the distance, so when you're the character, I didn't want it to be too close like this, where you couldn't really see around you. You know, I want it to be kind of a cool mystery where you can kind of see the bottom floor. You can see there's a floor up here. So the camera being at 15, I think gives that space. So crazy tell this map. Thanks, Touche. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's gosh, still have nightmares. So that's that. So allowing the camera to not be locked, what we wanted to do is you get familiar with these levels, everything side scroll, and then you teleport to the reverse side, right? You play it again. And you do that for several levels. So here, this white part is our hospital. This gray part is, both of these are the parking garages. This up here is the tutorial kind of introduction. And then this black part, this row, and then down the right here is where they fall to the bottom for kind of this dream sequence. But all of that is side scroll, right? For the most part. And then the same thing is the house. Spoiler alert too, if you haven't played the game, it's about to get a little crazy, so go play it. I've done an update since the game jam for a couple things we had to tweak, so I believe it's on like page 35 or 36. But yeah, so the house, same deal here. You can see I have the wall, but then I needed the blue sky on both sides, so that's here. You can see our path, and then in the house the same thing. So it's kind of tricky, you know, all the decoration in the background, you have to make sure that they're not kind of sticking into the path to block. That one is a little bit, but it's okay. The stairs we want, and same thing with the foreground, which we have a lot more foreground here. The hospital only had 2 rows. But back to what I was saying with the camera, and then we have the lab, which is 2, but then we wanted to kind of switch things up and go for a loop, and we first introduced that actually here in the house, where you're actually able to pass through this dimensional void, if you will, and it's not active there. You can't see it because you have to activate it in the game. But basically, this wall goes away, and you're able to transverse through here and pass through. So now you play both sides. So that kind of sets up the expectation for the final level, if you will, which is this one, which now it's set up the same way, but it's much less structured. So these are very uniform. This is side A, this is side B. There's the middle wall. It was that, you can see it's the same width, but story-wise, since this veil is collapsing and the worlds are merging, you're able to pass through these holes, through the fog, and you can jump around, and now it's a three-dimensional puzzle. And that's the benefit of the camera not being locked, is now you can twist and turn, and it makes it just that much more challenging to go through. I love this view. That was a pain in the butt. So this part here with all the detail blocks you can kind of see the holes where you go through. But then to take things another step further is when you get up here, the wall basically falls away. And what's up, War Manette? How's it going? But this part, the walls fall away, and it's just the fog. So now it's almost like you're back to, if you go to your camera instead of angled, it's almost like you're third person, right? Like the normal Sandbox out of the box thing. It's your third person. You're behind your avatar. You can move around, and you're jumping on these platforms to go up. So the side scroll thing's kind of gone away at this point, for the most part. And then we climb this, and then we wanted to do these boss fights. Oh my gosh, gimme. Okay. We wanted to do the boss fight where you get in this big room, and now you're behind your avatar facing this way, right? But you can still swing around this way and look. And then the real strategic thing is on this side, if it was a solid wall and I was over here, I wouldn't be able to see it. So that's why this wall is mostly fog. So if you wanted to, you could come over here and you could play the game out this way. Hello. I am not Andy, though. Andy is awesome. Andy might be here. I'm not sure. He's not here right now. But maybe I can help you with something. But yes, Andy's awesome. Dude, the patience you must have to build this crazy. The camera tricks are awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we thought about it long and hard about, not doing a third person, not doing a first person, but really doing like a crazy thing. But yeah, so this whole part here, these funny lighthouses. But yeah, so you can really rotate the camera and play it as you wish. And I guess I should go grab the spawn to really show, so I'm not just flying around making people seasick. But somebody remind me in 5 minutes not to save. That would be great. We're gonna go over here. Oh, look at that guy. I'll tell you about that guy in a second. I'll show you the boss fight. Oh, look at that. I've already messed stuff up. Where is the spawn? Multiple value. How did I get multiple things selected? Yeah, I really need to not save this. Okay. Give me this right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go put this in the first boss room. Again, spoiler alert, if you have not played this all the way through, about to get some spoilers, but I want to show how this works. Come here. Alright, so I'm going to move the spawn over here. This boss fight still is kind of iffy, but there wasn't really a good workaround. Okay, so... Oh, don't hurt me. Okay, so traditionally this is how we were going. I never built this. I need to see it. Absolutely. So we're diving into the game Lucid that we created for the previous game jam, The Glitch in the Metaverse. I'm just kind of walking through how we set this up as a makeshift side scroller, but an unlocked camera, so you can do this bit. So this is how we play most of the game, and then we can move this way and we can approach, you know, the boss. And then, as I said, you can come this way, and it won't block you. And then the invisible wall here allows me to do this and not get covered up by that wall over there on the right. So there's that. So with this one, I'll just show you this. The idea for this boss fight was supposed to be I don't know if anybody's ever played like WoW or a game where like don't step in the red stuff. So like it's supposed to have these purple flashing areas to avoid, and you have just so long to get out of them before the fog shoots up. Because if you go in the fog, you will die, right? So I'll start that again. It goes pretty quickly. But that was supposed to be the idea, to where you fight her, you have to kind of kite her around and move her before the pillar of fog spawns and you can fall into this pit. There is one slight glitch with that, like a real glitch, like a glitch that you don't want. And that is, if she is in the middle of it, she gets trapped because they are blocks. The fog are actual blocks, so she's stuck in the middle. I won't recreate that, but you can see it kind of, oh, she pushed me in the hole. But you can see it kind of flashes and does that, and then you have to kind of navigate this maze by moving the camera to attack her. So we will kick her butt real quick. And of course she blocks. It's been a long time since I've been in here to do this. One thing I will note, you can see that her health is not showing, and that's not intentional. It's actually the side scroll walls that we used. Oh crap, let me get out of there. It's the camera angle and the side scroll wall. If you're looking through it, it doesn't show the health bars, so it's actually turned on. You just can't see it. If I were to face this direction, you would be able to see it. So that is kind of a silly glitch right now. So there's that, and then the last one, which it actually glitched when Alex played it on stream that one time. I still not exactly sure how, but a message popped up that was not supposed to pop up, and that did a very bad thing, which means like he only played half the end boss fight. So I want to show the full fight and how we set it up. It kind of goes with, I think, what last Saturday he was doing like boss fights. We wanted this to be kind of an epic showdown because it is a twist in the story. Again, spoiler. But you think you're done with the story, and then surprise, you're not. So I'll just start right here. All right. So anyway, we come around here, and this room is the biggest room. We're no longer in that tiny pillar, but it's actually spanning a pillar, that 13 gap, another pillar, and then another 13 gap, because, you know, we wanted this kind of epic finale visual here. And I will show you all this text. Okay, all of this. Again, strategic with the holes. This was kind of a turn. You come up and then you have to turn, so we need another hole so you can see where you're going. But this boss fight, we have him chilling over there. Is Cosmo snoring? You can hear that? Yeah, he's snoring. He's out. That's funny. He's cutting logs right here. So this boss fight, I'm going to show you real quick. So traditionally, we could go up, smacky smack, kill them. There's only so many varieties you can do with that. But, so what we've done is we come up and have this big conversation with him. And I will skip through it. That way, if someone hasn't played this, you won't get all of the deets. This is the part that Alex didn't get to do in the stream. He had already been defeated, quote unquote, and we were playing the second half. So the first part is we use these vials around here, which are story-driven things if you played the other levels to defeat him. So he's going to come after us, and we know that these green blocks do damage. So the first mechanic is obviously we get to run around the map and avoid stepping in the green, right? So we're worrying about him and we're worrying about stepping in the green. If I try to attack him, he's invincible, so I cannot kill him if I wanted to. So the way to kill him, like the quest says, is I pick up these and I throw them at him. Oh, he got that one out of my hand. Oh, I'm so out of practice with this. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Okay, so we get this and you see it explode. So you throw it at him, boom, and it'll explode. The way it's set up with him, you don't really get a health bar on him because you're not actually damaging that asset, and I'll show you how it's set up. But anyway, you throw that, it explodes, and sometimes he knocks it out of your hand like that. Oh, I'm gonna die. I probably shouldn't die because I'm not exactly sure where I'm gonna spawn since I haven't done all the spawns correctly. Since I just spawned here. Come here, buddy. Throw it at him. I think one more should do it. Oh, he's gonna hurt me. Okay. Oh, okay, good. I'm right here. Good, 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 good. Full health. I think only 8 of these 10 are needed. So you can see the camera kind of blocking. That's what I was talking about earlier. Are you still alive? Where's another one? Oh, there we go. Okay, so he's dead. So now you fool, I've only become stronger. Everything goes away, and now there's, again, there's the wall. Another version of him. So now we can smack him. Except if you watch him walk, again, these light green blocks do damage to the avatar. If you watch where he walks, I called it the toxic walk and the setting it up, but everywhere he walks, he turns the ground to those blocks. So he kind of starts limiting the space in which you get to travel. Right? So I guess I could just kill him. You can hurt him. One thing I would say that I notice a lot of that really helps is to really pay attention to how much health you have, how much damage you do, and then the same thing with the enemies, right? A lot of times someone will drop, you know, the enemy in there and it's fully gemmed with super health and it'll one-shot you. So if you watch, look how much damage I'm doing. Oh, well, of course he blocks. So I have to do this to unblock. I only do 3 damage on a major hit, and I do 1 damage a normal attack. That seems silly, but everything's scaled appropriately. So I only have 60 health. He has... Oh, I can't see. See, this gets really hard. He's got 50 health, right? So 50 hits, or if I do some big hits, that takes away 3. So it's meant to be a bigger fight, and you kind of have to navigate through this maze of crap. Yeah, crap. Green crap. Oh, now it's really bad. So, didn't want to make it super easy. Come here, buddy. However, when it does the start moving to it, it pulls you into the... There we go. But now you can block. So I guess you could stand in one spot and block if you really wanted to. Alright, so that's the mechanics. Now I'll show you kind of how we did that. Let me just kill him, just because I want to. Go 1. Okay, he's dead. So, okay. So part 1 of the fight is the regular mutated rat. If I zoom in, again, he's invincible, right? If you zoom into him, I've got all these numpads that are attached to him. So kind of how Alex was doing the tentacles or the eggs on the dragon, that's kind of what we did here. But each of these numpad, there's 1 numpad corresponding to each vial. So each vial is not an identical vial. They're all, so this is 7. And in here, vial kill 7. So it sends its own messages that correspond with its own numpad. Because if they were all the same and I threw it in there, they would all blow up, right? And it wouldn't work. So yeah, it's a long process, but It's really, I think, the only way to get it to work. But basically what happens is you take a vial. It's got gravity, so you can pick it up and throw it and it'll fall. It has health. Its instant death message, since this is the 7th one, is vial kill 7. And then I'll just stop right there because I don't want to do all of it at once. So this one that would say 7 detects this. So when you throw this there, it detects it. It destroys it. Okay. When it's destroyed, it sends this message to boss life toggle on. And so what that does, because he's invincible and we need a way to kill him, remember that flying rat that looks just like that was out here? So this is basically the health of the rat, and it's a platform that is on a toggle, right? No on or off, it's a toggle. And so what happens is every time you throw a vial and it's destroyed, that death message tells this toggle to turn on, which means this rat goes down. It touches the fog, which, as you can guess, damages the asset. So it drops down, takes damage, comes up, toggles off. So every time you throw one, it drops down, takes damage, goes up. So it's like you're damaging it, but you're not. You're damaging this guy behind the scenes. The drawback to that is you can't see the health bar. There might be a way you could do it as a quest, like a collectible quest where, well, then it would collect and not decollect like the bar. So I don't know, there might be a way to show something, but I haven't figured that out yet. But anyway, every time you have a barrel destroyed, this is on a toggle. It hits that fog, takes damage, and then up here, I think in the body, again, I'm not going to save this. Yeah, this, when it comes back up, hello. When he comes back up and touches this, it turns the toggle off. That way it stops. So I think when Alex played it, something happened where this dropped down and he didn't come back up and it died completely, which made him go away and the floor go away. So when Alex got here, the toxic one was there, and that's the only one he could play. But yeah, so that's how we did the first part of the boss fight, where he's invincible and the only way to kill him is to use these. The second part, if we come through the floor, is down here. So this mechanic for this one is, like I said earlier, the toxic walk, right? So everywhere, for the most part, everywhere he walks, he turns that 3x3. Thank you. Don't save. Not saving. What if you had a numpad or something that was also attached to the rat, had a health component that the player couldn't reach, but that was affected by the message? Yeah. I was just thinking like have one out there, but yeah, if it was attached to its back, that way you could always see it and it would make sense. Yeah, that's good, touche. No, I gotcha. Yeah, and I was coming down the wire on that part, so just get it done. But yeah, we'll make those edits and keep updating. But yeah, good call. So the second part here for the toxic walk, basically we have our new rat. Looks great. I think the quest works too. Yeah, I think so. This last part here, again, you can attack him. He can block. He's got 50 health, and let's see. Actually, there's nothing on him that does it. It's these what does it. Yeah, like a score component. Yeah, exactly. But you can see the floor in here, for the most part, is covered in these numpads in these rows. There's actually two. There's one you can see, and there's some you can't, all the way down here. Oh my gosh. So what this does is the top one, and again, all of these are unique. So none of these are the identical, because they all need to be set off individually. So like this is 54 Looks like your farming mechanic. Yeah, I bet. I bet. So 50, I forget how many these are because I lost. Yeah, 1,000 numpads. Pretty much. Pretty much. So the top one is a speaker that targets the final boss. So he's got the tag final boss. And that sends a message. Talks walk 54, which corresponds with this one. Which, if we... Is this 54? Yes. So this is a... again, another one. It's a multi, so it's spawning the green shiny blocks in this radius when it gets the message, which spawns when the boss gets there. So is really teased. So there's some overlapping, you know, where he gets it or he doesn't, and these, you know, are kind of a radial detection. So he'll walk over some, like if he clips the edge, it won't go off, you know, always. I could probably increase this radius to, what am I at, 1? I could probably go to 2, but it's getting really hard. So that's basically it. He walks around, these will detect him, and then it will cause the corresponding numpad to spawn the blocks, which do damage to the avatar. Yeah, that was a lot. The floor mechanic is, so these voids here, when this one dies, all of the floor is voided. That is really taxing and really laggy, but the floor goes away, so you fall down here to do that. Yes, so that's, I think, kind of in a nutshell how all that worked. You know, the thing with not having the presets, as I'm sure y'all know, is a lot of times, you know, I just wanted to spawn something how we want it and let that be that, but we can't do that. So like a lot of times there's stuff hiding in the walls, right? And they have to wait until something triggers it. Like this guy, when you play the B side, you come over here, he pops out of the door and says, hey, it's time for your medicine. If we had our presets, he could just spawn here, good to go. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. But that's not the case right now. So he's attached to this one. No. Okay, anyway, he's attached to a numpad that's a platform, which brings him out when it's time. This one stops that pad from going back in here, so he comes out, and then we can act, do what we need to with him, that sort of thing. And we did that a lot with the reflections, like once you get up, well, actually in the intro, right? When you spawn up here and you start coming down this corridor, there is a reflection. Where's she at? She's in the wall. Oh, she's right here. So she's hiding in the blocks here, because I didn't want you to be playing here and then twirl the camera around and be able to see her. That'd be kind of weird. But she's hiding in there, and then she'll run along here and then die from that one. So that's a lot of testing to make sure everything's lined up. And even when it is lined up, it'll work like 10 times in a row, and then you'll play it, and the platform won't catch the detector, and it'll just keep going. I'm sure y'all have seen that. But yeah, so that's really it on the setup. The last thing I'll say is the spawns. Again, it's just because there's not presets, and there's so many strategic spawn locations. It's not a checkpoint. We really had to progress the way things go. So you play through the demo level. You help the rat. You get hit by the car, and then you spawn here, and you fall all the way down, die, and then you spawn. Where is it? You spawn here. You go all the way through here. and then this one creates fog, which you pass through, so then you fall again and die, and then you spawn in the hospital. So keeping track of when it's spawned and when it's killed, so that the only one you have to go to, I won't do a tutorial on spawning, I think there's a lot of those, but if all the spawns that I spawn are left there, then it wouldn't work, because you would really just go to the closest one until the presets are fixed. So we had to make sure and delete each spawn as you got to the checkpoint, which spawned the new one. So but yeah, that was basically the setup. I would say, you know, if you're gonna do a side scroll, you know, just pay attention to getting the camera just right. If you want it to be, you know, exactly 180, which is I think what the LUCID controls are, and then, you know, leaving the room for the decorations. So don't just put the edge of the world like this, you know. Leave some room so you can throw stuff. You know, I could have put a plant there or something, but in the background, you know, because you can't access it, we're not bumping into the sink or bumping into the trash can or bumping into the toilet. Everything's kind of protected off that way. But these side scroll walls again are 2256 by 256, and they're on the marketplace, so that helps a lot to keep it going. Something I will say though is the game I'm working on now for this short game jam, I'm using some of these for something, and believe it or not, so when you turn invisible, they're kind of opaque and you can't see them. Well, that means it's really hard to line them up exactly. Like, these are not perfect. Some are further down and some are sticking out. I had like the dumbest moment. Like, okay, that's pretty good actually, but line them up visible and then turn it off. But all of these were done invisible, which is makes me cry thinking about that. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Thanks, Clinkerish. Don't save. Yeah, not gonna save. Yeah, I think that's it. The last thing I'll show is our title reveal here. So behind this wall of blocks here, which when you're in this side you can kind of see a line, but it kind of blends in. But that's where the LUCID is spelled out, and so by activating the asker there, this will delete the black blocks, revealing the white blocks. And the effect, if we scroll down here, where are they? There are two. Oh, here they are. So this is a garage door, which was chosen because it's is it epic? It's purple. Yeah, epic purple has the rarity effect. And here you can see, like I was talking about with the platforming, if presets were active, we could just spawn it right there when we're ready. But when you activate this, the black blocks go away, it reveals the word LUCID, and then there's one of these on either side. This is on a toggle and it comes up, and then this numpad tells it to stop. And again, it's every time you do it, they're not equal, or it doesn't go up all the way, it's down. It's very silly, but that's how that's done. And then it's not down here in the way, although it's in the wall anyway. You couldn't, yeah, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But yeah, that is it. We pretty much used all the space. I think the only space not really used is there's this little chamber right here. I think I thought I was gonna do something there, or leave a spot to put some behind the scenes stuff in there. But it's the max height to the bottom. There's a little bit of floor there, but I didn't want when you're walking on the bottom floor to see this purple. So this is just enough height where when you're in the game, it's all the way to the bottom like that. But other than that, you know, we couldn't have anything in these spaces again, because that would show up on the camera when you're playing on the B sides, this one and this one. the house level there, and then the in-game level here with our gaps, and then this big square, like I said earlier, is that final boss, which takes up this whole span there. So yeah, so that's really it. That's what I wanted to show. I'll show the perimeters one more time. Again, it's an angled camera without it being locked, and then the camera distance that can open a wide variety of side scrolls. I mean, you can have it really far away and you're tinier and you can see, you know, I mean, don't know what the max is, but you could probably see pretty far and you could run around and, you know, try to figure that out. But that's the cool thing about it, is there's so many possibilities with the different cameras. And then the yaw is just the rotation of the camera. So 180 is on the horizon line there. So I guess 90 would be, oh, it's the same because it's on the other side. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so if there's no questions, I think that's all I really wanted to show. I will save this for playback for those that want to watch. I know I did it kind of quickly, but yeah, that's kind of a dive into Lucid, and hopefully it helps with the side-scrolling thing. I know it's kind of a lesser used camera angle and stuff for the games right now, just because it's a newer one, but hopefully that will help do that. Yeah, side scroll walls on the marketplace if you guys want to use it. And yeah, I appreciate you watching. Touche, let me know when you get that package. And y'all have a great night, and we'll talk soon.